This episode of the Walt podcast is brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is a completely free podcasting tool that allows you to create your very own podcast for no money whatsoever.
You know who should have a podcast? It's me, Yogi.
Oh my god, Gergie, no, what are you doing here?
Yogi heard that people love his voice, so he wants to project it to the world on Apple Music, and iTunes, and Spotify, and Stitcher, and all the places where podcasts are distributed.
Oh my god, Gergie, no, nobody wants to hear you talk.
Yogi can even make money on his podcast with the Anchor's free sponsorship program.
Wait, you're gonna get paid for this too?
Yes, and it's all possible with Anchor and their free creation tools.
Oof, okay, well, I'll bite. What's your podcast gonna be called, Gergie?
It's gonna be Yogi Gets It. Available on all podcast platforms thanks to Anchor.
Well, you've heard it here first. Go to Anchor.fm to get started. Download the free Anchor app, and you can make your own podcast. Anchor. It's so easy, even Gergie can do it.
Yogi!
Jennifer Walters has a complicated life as a single attorney in her 30s, who also becomes a 6'7" green superhero, She-Hulk.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 186.
why did you turn into an old man?
Hello,
Like he has no teeth.
it's Andre Morton.
stop.
Just because you're a dad don't mean you're that old now, okay?
I am extremely old. And I feel it. What's up, guys?
Long time no see. Long time no hear.
It's so weird. First off,
It's very weird.
I came home from work, because here's the deal. We usually will record on a Friday evening, and I work on Friday. Hold on, what is today?
Today's Wednesday, but it feels like
We
Friday.
usually record
This
on
week
Friday.
is Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah. Because it's Thanksgiving.
So it's confusing. Anywho, so I walk in my house, and Andre and Michelle are already here, and I'm like, oh,
Are we at your
who
house?
are you? I don't know whose use is. And it was them, and they are here.
It was us.
And we haven't done this in so long, I forgot who they were. I forgot who you were.
Right.
I'm not using my normal
You also
mic.
forgot we were recording today.
I also forgot I had work
Yep.
today.
Oh.
You know,
It's a life.
A lot of things are forgotten. It's all good.
Anywho, what are we doing here?
This
What is
week,
this thing we're doing?
We are talking about the
podcasting.
2022 live-action Disney Plus original Marvel series.
Stop.
She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
dun, dun, dun.
It's never just one word. She-Hulk, attorney at law.
What else did I forget?
Not just
Superhero.
She-Hulk. It's She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
That's correct. This is a lawyer show, and they really want to make sure that you know that. This is a show starring Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black, and was written or show run by Jessica Gao. Where did her stuff go? I just had all of her information in front of me, and now it's gone.
That's okay.
Yes. This show also has Mark Ruffalo as the He-Hulk. He makes an appearance.
Or just Hulk.
It's just Hulk, I guess.
Yeah, She-Hulk.
I mean, she's She-Hulk. He-Hulk.
This is not pronoun Hulk. Okay. This is
I mean, it is.
regular She-Hulk.
This is pronoun Hulk. She is a pronoun.
She's the only one that has the pronoun.
I know. And this is the title of the show. It's crazy. The baby's here.
He's here.
Podcast baby says what's up. So, should we give our first impressions of...
No, we gotta do questions.
Oh, you have a question. That's right.
Yeah, let me just move this baby over.
We determined that Luis does not have a question, but Michelle.
Luis doesn't have a question, but I have a question. Okay? Okay. So, the Hulk and She-Hulk have similar powers, right?
Very.
Okay.
I mean, I would hope they do, right?
But are they equal? Or are they just similar?
Is that the question?
Yeah, who would win in a fight? She-Hulk versus Hulk?
Well, honestly, it's very interesting because a lot of the time in the comics, the main difference between She-Hulk and Hulk is that Hulk is like a raging monster all the time. You know, every time he's green, he's raging and he's speaking like a 4-year-old or whatever. And Jennifer is a fully functioning human as She-Hulk.
Right.
But in this show, Hulk is also a fully functioning human. He wears glasses. Hulk don't need no glasses. He's got Hulk eyes.
So stupid.
So if we're going in the comics, I would say 100% She-Hulk because she can outsmart the Hulk while she's hulky. But in the context of the MCU, I guess it's definitely possible for Bruce to smack down upon She-Hulk in a fight.
I would say, at least in regards to that, he's way bigger than she is. So like, she's as strong and as smart, I would say, but he's just bigger. Right. And sometimes when you're bigger, it's just
the way it is.
That's just gonna help you.
Okay.
But no, I don't think he's like stronger than her.
Well,
per se,
Hulk is the strongest one there is.
Stronger than her?
That's what he says all the time.
Yeah,
Hulk
no,
is the strongest one there is.
Yeah, but
we don't know that.
Thor is the strongest Avenger. It's that same exact thing.
Yeah, he could say what he. Oh, hello, dude, the baby.
Yeah.
Oh my God, shut up! He's doing happy baby
He can grab both of his toes. I mean, both.
He can put them in his mouth too.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's refocus.
Lot of talent happening around here.
You know.
Yeah, who would win in a fight? Trey versus Jack.
Trey versus Jack, the baby with superpowers.
I'm sorry, Jack.
No,
Jack.
Michelle,
Jack,
I know a parent's love can be blinding, but you don't want to lead your child to a death trap or a death wish, okay?
Yeah. Sorry, Jack would win.
Yeah, there's no need for our child to be transported to another dimension by Jack. And that's like the least of our worries. It could also set him on fire. Yeah.
How many turkeys do you think Hulk would eat on Thanksgiving?
Oh my goodness.
A lot.
How many full turkeys?
I don't know. He's pretty big.
I mean, yeah.
Trick question, not because he's allergic.
What?
Allergic to turkey. He's got Hulk allergies.
Hulk no eat turkey.
Do you remember in Avengers Endgame when Hulk came down and Ant-Man lost all his tacos because the Guardian ship came in, and then he gave him one of his tacos?
Yeah.
And then Hulk only had one taco. You think that's going to hold Hulk over?
No.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so. He's going to have to go back to
like
the
a grain of
shop.
salt.
Well, I think about like Barry Allen, for example,
From
in
the Flash.
Like the Flash in DC. We don't really get that whole idea in the X-Men with Quicksilver.
Right.
Like
he's not eating all the time necessarily.
Right? He doesn't have to eat the equivalent of how fast he's moving.
Right.
But
100,000 calories per day.
Right? You would think that Hulk would probably have to. They've just never said that.
Yeah.
But he could probably eat 80 turkeys.
But Hulk is also like an indestructible, self-healing super being.
So my thing is, if that's the case, then he doesn't get hungry.
Yeah, he might not get hungry. He might not have to eat.
Do they talk about that in the comics? Like,
I'm sure they do. I don't remember specifically. And in the movies they have shown Hulk eating.
Yeah.
At least smart Hulk. I'm trying to remember if there's a time where regular Hulk is eating.
Actually, no, dude. Remember in that one scene at the diner, he has a ridiculous amount of food.
Right, he's got a whole bunch of eggs. He's got a whole bunch of pancakes, and he's like, "You guys want some of this?" And they're like, "No, go ahead."
He could probably eat a lot of turkeys, but again, null and void. He's allergic, so.
So here's my thing. I said this when we watched Smart Hulk the first time in what? Endgame?
Yes, in Endgame.
No, was it Endgame?
Yeah, that's the first time.
Yeah, Endgame.
Because he's like absent in Infinity War.
Yes. I hated it then.
Okay.
And I hate it now. I don't like it. His face is.
Oh. Now I don't know if you know this. That's Mark Ruffalo's face.
Yeah, and it shouldn't look like that. It shouldn't. I don't like it.
Is it the glasses? Is it the forehead? Is it the hairline? What are you thinking? Is it all of the above?
It's Mark Ruffalo's face on a Hulk.
Now, in terms of like the CG of it, I think honestly, he looks really good in this show. And like I remember before going into the show that the CGI being a major hitting point for a lot of people who watched the trailer.
Right.
Just like, this whole thing looks pretty rough.
Yeah.
She doesn't look as good as the Hulk has looked in these movies in the past or whatever. But if you just got a problem with Mark Ruffalo's face, and that's a personal Emily opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, there's a difference between him hulking and running and all that kind of stuff, and him like having a conversation with you with glasses on.
Right.
Like that, I'm just not.
That's a good point. In the first Avengers movie, when he like first hulks out, and like you only see like a partial of his face, it's like over the shoulder or whatever, but you can tell like it's Mark Ruffalo's eyes or whatever. But then he goes through the rest of that movie just being the Hulk and not talking a lot. You're right, and it fits a little bit more than him going
like him being Smart Hulk, and he's at a
your
computer
blood and the particles and the irradiation.
That makes sense. Smart Hulk freaks me out, I think.
That makes sense. I'm ready.
I don't like Smart Hulk either, so I feel you.
I'm ready to go back to regular Hulk.
Smash.
Hulk smash, indeed.
Like, him in like Thor, like in Love and Thunder.
Yes.
100%. Like Thor. Him as Hulk.
Right, yeah.
All the time.
Hulk like raging fire.
Dude.
Thor like little fire.
That is fantastic. This Smart Hulk thing just, I don't know, I don't like it.
Right. So we'll be going full spoilers into She-Hulk in our discussion here. Obviously.
Smart Hulk is all up in this. There you go.
Right. Yeah. Hulk shows up a bunch, and we get more Hulks as well. Like at the very, very end, we see that Hulk has a son.
That freaked me out, dude.
I also didn't like that.
So
okay, let's wait till we get there.
Okay,
let's do our first impressions. Luis, let's start.
Timey-wimey, bros. That's all you need to know.
It's timey-wimey.
Okay. Well, what was your?
No, I didn't like the way he looked.
Oh.
Which is very rude of me.
Well, there's a whole thing online about that. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Luis, first impression of She-Hulk.
It was good.
Okay.
Not the best Disney show, but it was good.
Okay.
Okay, Emily.
I liked it. Oh, okay, sorry. I liked it. I liked it more as it went on.
Okay.
So I was agreeable from the beginning. The first couple episodes were really cute. But then as time went on, I was like, oh, I really like her. I don't think she struck me in the first 2 episodes.
Right.
But her character is very likable over time. And I don't know if I liked her because of all the crap that was happening to her. Like, oh, this poor girl.
Right.
Poor Jennifer.
Didn't want to
okay,
feel too
She-Hulk
bad
is legit, but poor Jennifer.
Poor Jennifer.
Her poor, oh.
Yeah, dude.
Anywho, but I liked it overall. The last episode, I think, was just unreal. I loved it.
Right.
Luis hated it.
Okay.
Everything about it.
Okay.
You know it. You know he did.
Okay. I can't wait to get to that.
He rolled his eyes so hard, and I was like,
breaking the fourth
sick.
She's been doing it the whole show.
Not that hard, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That was pretty hard. She jumped out of our TV.
Okay. Well, my first impression, this was the first time that I watched a Marvel TV show where I felt like it was a TV show. Mm-hmm. Like, all of the other Marvel shows to me felt like long, spread out movies. This felt like a TV show. So I appreciated the sitcom aspect. I really like how personable she is, like how relatable she is, Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk both. So this was just fun to me, and it was interesting because I went into this with the worst expectations. I was like, this is going to be the stupidest show ever. I do not care about She-Hulk at all, and the CGI looks bad, and I just think that this show is going to be horrible. And then I think by the time Megan Thee Stallion came on screen, I was like, I'm sold, I'm done. This show is amazing.
You got me.
Because it just felt more like a sitcom, like a TV show.
Right.
Like, I didn't have to take it seriously. I didn't have to worry so much about what was happening.
The multiversal implications.
I mean, there's other things going on, that they're going to bring up in movies and stuff. But for me, it was just an easy watch. So therefore, I liked it.
It felt fun.
Yeah. So therefore, I really enjoyed it. Like, every week we were like, yay, She-Hulk. Like, I didn't have to I have to watch She-Hulk. I have to wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, you didn't have to
You know what I
think
mean?
about anything like in Loki or
even with the really good ones like
WandaVision.
WandaVision and Loki, like
you still
have to go like, okay, so the universe is split up right now, and then they're going over here, and there's 3 Loki, there's 4, there's 5, there's 7 Loki, there's 100.
Exactly.
It's an easier show.
I agree with that. It was so easy to get through.
Yeah. Right. So that's why I really actually enjoyed this a lot. Andre.
Yes, I agree. I think I'm actually higher than almost all of you in the room. I really liked She-Hulk. I thought this was a really, really well written and well acted show. I love Tatiana Maslany. She was a great Jennifer Walters. I know her from the show Orphan Black, which is a show where I believe she played like 20 different characters throughout the course of the show because it centers around this woman who is being cloned. I believe. Yes, they're clones. And they all have different personalities and they all live all over the world. So
Dang.
Good God.
when I see Tatiana Maslany is in something, I'm like, oh, she's going to be good because I've seen her play a million different roles already.
Yeah, she
What like
obviously has
TV?
it
In one show.
Yeah, right.
What channel or whatever did that come on?
Let me see. Orphan Black.
I never heard of it.
I think it was on like AMC or something like
Line.
that. Hang on a second. Let me just get a synopsis for you real quick.
I missed hearing your thinking noises.
Oh, it came on Sci-Fi, actually. The Sci-Fi channel.
Huh, okay.
The description says, Sarah is a streetwise woman with a troubled past as an English orphan who bounced around foster homes before being taken in by Mrs. S.
Mrs. S.
This is a much longer preview than I thought it was. Canadian sci-fi thriller created by Graham Manson. Yeah, I think she's might be Canadian from Canada. But it ran for a few seasons and it was quite good. So whenever I see Tatiana Maslany in something, I know it's going to be a banger because she's quite a talented actress.
Nice.
I thought the show was really funny the whole way through. No, go ahead. What was your question?
No. I forgot that we were still on your first impression, so I'm sorry I interrupted you.
It's all good.
Can you, as we go through these, I mean, I know we go episodically, but can you kind of go through what happened in the episode as we do it?
Yes. I will have them all listed and ready for us.
Wow.
Let's see here. So, that's the end of my first impression. I thought this was an awesome show, and it got better as it went along. And the show was like one step ahead of the audience the entire time, and I really appreciated that.
Hold
was
on.
always like, oh yeah, go ahead.
I like that I was gonna say this in my first impression. I like that there was really no villain of the show. It was it was situational.
Yes.
It was
But it was also like, toxic masculinity or
for sure.
The internet trolls or whatever.
It was like her versus society.
Yes.
Which was cooler, kind of, than being like, oh, the abomination.
Yeah, because let's be real.
The abomination.
Wilson Fisk.
Or Titania,
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Which I still don't understand that part very much, but go ahead.
Emil Blonsky and Wong are just the best.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna
Dude,
die.
that girl and Wong.
Madison.
Oh my god, I thought I was gonna
with the
shit my
wide
pants.
but now what you think? There's a lot of great guest stars on the show. Wongers. And what show were they watching? The Sopranos?
No. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Sopranos.
I just cannot.
Very funny. Very funny. Very good bits all the way throughout.
And they didn't overdo it.
Yes,
I'm not sure how they didn't overdo it because
it was just perfect.
Now, it's interesting because, Emily, you said that you hadn't quite warmed up to her like at first. But I think, if I remember correctly, the order of the episodes was switched around kind of like at the last minute. Like I think they had like the first episode happening like in the middle of the show, like episode 5 or something like that. So you don't see her origin story for a little while. She would just start out as She-Hulk,
okay.
and then you get the backstory later. But I guess it wasn't testing well with audiences or something like that, so they went and changed the order around before it came out.
I see.
So the first episode is
An origin.
I think it might be the weakest episode of
I think so.
of the bunch.
First question we had is how does she become the Hulk? And it was answered perfectly.
Right.
That was
and that's
good.
pretty quick.
That I liked that
Right.
we weren't confused as to origin because I agree with the test audience. I feel like that's something you care about because we know about Hulk.
Right, but we don't know about She-Hulk.
Right.
Like in the general consensus, people don't know.
I will say though that I think I had a hard time the first couple times she turned from one to the other, and I'm really glad. Did we see in that first episode her actually transform?
I don't think so.
I don't think we've ever seen her
No,
face.
we did, because didn't they get in the car crash and then
They did get in the car crash. Let me see here.
But maybe it wasn't.
No, I mean when I say like see her face change. I mean, like, we didn't see it like
Jennifer to She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh,
all in
yeah,
one
yeah,
take.
yeah.
I don't think we did.
And
I think they only saved that. I don't think they only did it like once or twice in the whole show.
because I don't want to see. I'm glad that it didn't do that every time.
Right.
We don't need to see like weird
They didn't have it in the
CGI
budget.
happen.
Remember?
Right.
That's right.
Right, as they explained in the final episode.
Hey, it makes sense.
Budget is tight. So yeah.
I won't even lie. I'm itching to talk about it. Okay.
So let's breeze through the first episode. While attempting to get Bruce to safety, Jennifer was cross-contaminated with his blood, causing her to transform into a Hulk. Bruce takes Jennifer to a secret laboratory in Mexico where he trains her to control her new powers. She's able to effortlessly handle his training regimen, but she rejected the idea of becoming a superhero full-time. So, yeah, I really enjoyed the part where Hulk was like, "Wait, Jennifer, you're you?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's me." And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna be like a crazy raging monster."
That was
or
so
whatever.
So I know, and he like gives her like the binder of like
Yes.
all the stuff, and she's like, "I'm fine," and he's like, "What?"
He was
Like, he's
so
kinda pissed.
He's
mad.
like, "Are you saying that to transform you need to be like angry or in a high state of alert?" I think as a woman, I'm in that state all the time.
Which made it even better because
Yes.
she had such good. I don't know. It was so expertly written.
Yeah,
Yes.
like her
About how
banter.
her being
Yeah.
a woman, like, made her a better Hulk.
A better Hulk.
Like, that's just killer. Okay,
It was really
it's
good.
killer.
Very, very good.
I think there were women everywhere being like, yeah.
Yes. Bruce tries to stop her from leaving the secret lab, and the two fight until Bruce reluctantly accepts Jennifer's wish to return to her legal career. Back in court, Jennifer is interrupted by superpowered influencer Titania, who violently bursts through a wall while fleeing from her own trial.
So funny.
Walter transforms, defeats Titania, and returns to normal to make her closing argument. And then from here on, she is forever known to the world as She-Hulk. Attorney at law, the Hulk lawyer, which is interesting.
So is that, okay, I won't even lie. That's where I think that I was getting super confused. So, and that all happened in the first episode, right? The Titania part? Okay, so the assumption is she was in her own courtroom.
Yes, in an adjacent courtroom, having a trial,
And she was trying to get out of that.
I don't think so. I'm out of here. She
Yeah,
burst
so
through
she
a wall,
just burst through a wall
and it's
into
Jennifer's
there.
courtroom now. Yes.
Because I keep thinking, like, how did
this
she just
randomly happen?
Yeah, how did she just find Jennifer? Or, you know?
I think Titania finds herself in court quite a bit. You know.
She knows all about this courtroom,
Right.
okay?
She's very familiar with these halls of the courtroom. So yeah, she's able. Jennifer's able to stop her and take her down, and she becomes famous for it. So in the next episode, Superhuman Law, Jennifer gains public notoriety after defeating Titania and is dubbed the She-Hulk, which she does not like. However, the case is declared a mistrial after the defense successfully argues that her fight with Titania influenced the jury, and she is fired from the district attorney's office. But then she is offered a position by opposing counsel GLK&H and accepts, bringing along her best friend Nikki Ramos as her paralegal. Nikki.
Okay.
Nikki is the
best character in this show.
The best. She's hilarious. She keeps it 100% at a time.
I cannot with her. She's so
But wait, what's the dude's name?
Oh, the guy, Pug.
Pug, yes.
Pug.
He was also very
I almost
funny.
said Pudge.
Are they together?
I don't think
Or
so.
are they just like BFFs?
Yeah, they're just BFFs.
Dude,
who work
because
in the, same
the
office,
two of them
right?
together.
They're great. They're hilarious. And they only get better with time as the show goes on, and they like open up more, and you get to hear more about their characters.
I just love that she, even though the world is just coming down on poor Jennifer, she has some ride or dies. Okay?
Oh yeah, she's got some homies. For real. She is not alone. Get in there, Mel. Okay. So in the second episode, let's see here. On her first day at GLK&H, Holden Holloway informs her that he wants her to head up the firm's new superhuman law division and work as She-Hulk full-time. Her first case is to represent Emil Blonsky, a.k.a. the Abomination, from the 2011 The Incredible Hulk. Wait, no, 2008. Yeah, 2008. The Incredible Hulk movie.
And I'm
Same
glad we
actor.
did an episode on that, honestly,
Yes.
because
I mean, they brought a lot of stuff back from
I feel like we would have
from
been
that.
confused if you hadn't seen that.
I mean, I think they kind of do an okay job explaining who he is, but at the same time, the monster version of Abomination looks different than he did in that movie. He's got the fins on his ears, and
I don't know if I love that.
Right. Well, in the movie, he had like the bones coming out of his back as like little spikes. I didn't like that.
That's also disgusting.
I like that they made it more reptile-like.
Yeah, I do too. It's a cooler, cleaner look. So Emil is at a parole hearing, and initially Jennifer is reluctant to be his counsel because technically he tried to kill her cousin Bruce back in the day. Hard.
Not just kind of, but like here, murder.
But Jennifer goes and gets Bruce's approval and accepts the case as he departs inside a Sakaran spacecraft up into the sky on a secret mission to go back home, or to go back to space. To Sakaar, where he was in Thor Ragnarok.
Night dress.
In the third episode, The People versus Emil Blonsky. I like all the legal names. She-Hulk represents Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, but his parole hearing doesn't go as planned.
Oh, hold on. We need to pause here. Yes. I know that we're going into this, but I don't know about you, but the minute I saw him on screen, I was like, I need to know how he was fighting
Wong in Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
How?
Because that was the last time we saw the Abomination.
Because I'm up in here like, he's in jail though.
And in that
he's
movie,
in jailage.
Wong is fighting Abomination, and he ends up beating him in their battle. And then later we see them in like a locker room, and they're like, tending to each other's wounds or whatever. Like, good fight,
they're buds.
Good fight, bro.
Yeah.
And then eventually Wong opens a portal, and they both walk through it. And so, like, what is going on
So then you
there?
think, like, you just buds? Or, like,
Right,
what's happening here?
How are you guys friends? When did you meet? And why are you here? And why isn't the Abomination
Well,
in
and that's really what doesn't make sense, because if the Abomination's been in jail, like, how did he meet Wong?
Well, I think they do eventually explain in the show.
Oh, yeah, he said
Maybe
he
not
was
in this
looking
episode.
for somebody
like
that...
a worthy opponent.
Yes, in order for Wong to ascend to Sorcerer Supreme after Doctor Strange got snapped, he had to fight like a worthy opponent. And he found Emil in prison, I guess. He looked up famous supervillains who are currently incarcerated. And then was able to get in touch with him. And then they
Like
started
a
hanging out.
paintball program.
Yeah. He started writing them letters and stuff.
Hey, you.
Dearest Emil.
I could not.
So yeah.
But it was good because then it leaves you guessing in a very good way.
Yes.
As to what, like, how and why, and it's
so-
very intriguing.
So Wong shows up here as like a key witness in Abomination's trial. Let's see here.
The best thing about Abomination at the trial, too, is that he has, like, groupies,
He's got,
like
like, a
all
harem.
this women. Because he said, what did he say? He said he was gonna start like a
harem?
It's like a retreat.
Yeah, a retreat, and he's like, these are all my girlfriends.
Soulmates, right?
Yes. His
Oh yeah,
soulmates.
my soulmates.
His soulmate.
I was
This
like,
dude is a
dang.
cult leader. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And so, like, the whole time, I'm watching the show. I know the Abomination as a bad guy. So, like, I'm like, oh, man.
He's just a hippie.
Jennifer's about to get him out of jail, and he's just gonna go back straight to abominating. He's gonna be bad guy for sure. He's gonna stomp around and break some stuff, and Jennifer's gonna have to stop him the entire time. And the fact that that's not what ends up happening is very good and very funny to me. And now Abomination is kind of just chilling out in the woods.
He's like smart Abomination.
Yes, exactly.
But not as Abomination.
He's like, I was never a bad guy.
You're right. I was working for the government. That's what he said.
I won't even lie. I really liked him.
Yes.
I was expecting to hate him. Like you said, like you were expecting around every corner to be like,
Here comes the evil plan.
Nah, if Wong's friends with him, I'm friends with him.
Yeah,
okay?
Right. Wong trusts him, and I guess we gotta trust Wong.
Wongers.
So at the trial, Blonsky is released on parole, but forbidden from transforming again. Meanwhile, Jennifer's colleague Dennis Bukowski, this is that other lawyer who's like the hugest
yeah.
D word in the world.
Gosh, I hate that guy.
He approaches the Superhuman Law Division for a case involving his ex-girlfriend Runa, a shape-shifting light elf from New Asgard, who defrauded him by impersonating Megan Thee Stallion. This is the Megan Thee Stallion episode. So, like, leading up to the show, like, I think Megan Thee Stallion tweeted, and I just happened to be following Megan Thee Stallion.
Because she's awesome.
And she was like, I'm about to be a She-Hulk. I was like, what? Excuse me? And the way that she was in the show was absolutely hilarious.
Unreal.
I loved it the entire time. It was so funny.
Especially when they were twerking at the end.
But it's so funny because it would have still been fabulous without that.
Sure.
Like, it added,
for sure, but that was
like,
funny
it was...
It was great.
It was killer.
Just because this dude believed that Megan Thee Stallion wanted to date him, even though he probably owns a mirror. I don't know. I assume. But he
reminds me of that dude with the little carrot top fro from New Girl.
Carrot top fro from New Girl.
Schmidt's friend.
Schmidt's friend.
Oh, he wasn't a carrot top. He was like yeah. I know who you're talking about. He's in the first couple episodes. Anywho.
I don't know.
It's the one who, he was like rich and he was always very rude.
Very rude.
Anywho, whatever.
Anyway, yeah.
That guy hates.
That exactly describes Dennis Bukowski.
Bukowski.
So, Pug gets assigned to this case. His name is Augustus Pugliese. Jennifer helps Pug win the case. After participating in a televised interview, Jennifer is attacked by the Wrecking Crew in an alley, a 4-man criminal group consisting of the Wrecker, Pile Driver, Bulldozer, and Thunderball. And the only reason those names are in this description is because those are comic book characters, and they do show up a lot and fight the big, strong superheroes like Thor and Hulk and the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
Interesting.
They just sound like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I mean,
Did they just have like modified Chitauri weapons?
It says that they have stolen Asgardian construction tools.
Okay.
So they're all of Asgard, made by, the dwarves of Svartalheim or whatever.
Ooh. All right.
Well, I've been playing God of War Ragnarok, so I am, nose deep in Norse mythology.
Let me tell you all about it.
So
He's like, I'm a professional.
All about Thor, Mjolnir. We should be talking about a different show.
I'm the Dr. Selvig of real life.
Yeah.
Oh, Andre Selvig.
Oh, you guys, if you guys haven't started watching Andor yet, you gotta get on it, because
I have not heard.
Dr. Selvig is in it, and
I have not heard good things,
You
so
haven't?
I don't really want to watch it.
I'm gonna let you know on this show right now.
Emily doesn't like Star Wars.
That is not true.
I'm gonna let you know on this show right now that Andor is the best Star Wars show that exists.
Yeah, a lot of people disagree with you though, babe. So that's a conversation for another day.
And it might be like my favorite Star Wars thing of all time. Like,
really?
You can't copy me.
Really, really good.
Don't copy me.
You didn't say that on this podcast before me?
How's this? Who likes Star Wars first, Michelle?
Him.
Don't copy me.
Don't copy
whose
him.
favorite Star Wars movie is Rogue One. Therefore, Andor was going to be my favorite show.
Okay. All right. Anyway, She-Hulk. Let's see here.
Wait, where did we establish the stupid magician guy has?
That's the
sling
next
ring?
episode.
Okay.
Is this not real magic? And this is the Madison episode. Okay. We see Donnie Blaze, who is a magician at the Mystic Castle.
Hold on.
They better bring that guy back.
God,
They better bring him back.
guy.
It's so funny. Well,
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to see him
it's so
again.
funny
you know
because
it.
his name is Donnie Blaze. And in the comics, Ghost Rider, one of the Ghost Riders, his name is Johnny Blaze. And I think that they were trying to play something on that, I guess. But I don't know.
Was he annoying?
No.
This guy. Woo.
This guy was quite annoying. So he's a magician at the Mystic Castle, but he was expelled from Kamartaj for misusing his powers.
Freaking hilarious.
He sends an audience member named Madison King to another dimension where she makes a deal with a demon before being transported to Wong's home in Kamartaj. And Madison is a hoot.
Do you think that might have been a part of it, like where he made a deal with the devil, so she made a deal with the demon type of thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe. She's like, just let this stuff keep happening to me. I
She's
really
like,
like
so
this
I
magic
went to
style."
another dimension.
Yes.
I thought I was gonna die.
Madison gets called to the stand.
Dude, I love that character so much. It's like this is just a normal like weekend rager for her.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah, I have crazy stories from all times, but this is the first time I went
She
to
just
meet a
plops on
demon.
Wonger's couch.
Wongers.
He's like,
That name.
He's so mad. He's like, "You're a crazy magician. Transport you." And she's like, "Yeah."
Also in this episode, Jennifer creates a profile on a dating app in the hopes of expanding her social life. But she has little success until she changes it from a Jennifer Walters profile to a She-Hulk profile. Also, Donnie Blaze accidentally unleashes a swarm of demons at one of his shows by using the stolen sling ring. Wong and Jennifer send them back to hell before threatening Donnie Blaze and Willows. Oh, I think that was his magician lawyer. The fact that his lawyer was a magician is so funny.
He's like trying to back him up on everything. He's like, "Yeah."
It's magic code.
So, did you guys think that they were from Shang-Chi angry area? Those little demon things?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Because Luis and I immediately were like, "Oh, those are those creeper things at
Those
the end
same-
of
They
Shang-Chi."
hecka looked like it, but they were extremely weak compared.
Yeah, and
Well,
weren't those
and-
things bigger and have like wings and stuff?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Or tentacles? One of the other.
Those little things had wings too, dude.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That was one of the first things we thought about, that it looked kind of like that. But
It's a
then,
good point.
It's creepy stuff, so I guess it can all look
Yeah,
similar.
and
Yeah.
you know, it is being pulled from another dimension, so it definitely could be. You know, that makes some sense. It's same genus, otherworldly creatures.
Same genus.
Same genus. Oh, bless you. Donnie Blaze. Oh wait, right.
Can nobody say Andre wasn't paying attention in biology, okay?
That's right. Species,
Nobody can say
genus. Nobody.
It's genus then species.
Moving on.
That's nice, because I didn't know. Emily did not pay attention in biology.
Donnie Blaze gets threatened into complying with a cease and desist order.
Neither did I. I was rapping
You were
in
rapping.
biology,
No.
spitting tracks.
Oh, okay.
Spitting
I need
tracks?
to get the SoundCloud link to this. I want to hear the the Luis
spitting?
mix. Jennifer learns that Titania has been freed from jail and is filing a lawsuit against her because she trademarked the name She-Hulk, which is just the pettiest move on earth.
That's hella funny.
Truly petty.
I think that's why it's extra funny, is that we're now into girl rage.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you guys watch the TV show The Good Place?
No.
Emily? No. Oh. The girl who plays Titania is on that show.
Right. She was a major character on The Good Place.
She played a rich bitch on that one.
She
too.
played, excuse you.
Sorry.
She played a very snobby British lady on that show, and so it was interesting to see her play this like valley girl. I was not expecting an American accent to come out of her mouth. So let's see. The next episode is called "Mean Green and Straight Poured into These Jeans."
but did we already see her bad dates and how people only want her because
I think that's
she's
this
a
one.
I think
sex
that's
bot?
this episode.
Oh, okay.
Right, because she's poured into these jeans so she can go on these dates with these weirdos. So Titania has trademarked the name She-Hulk for a new line of beauty products, which angers Jennifer, obviously. Her boss warns her that she needs to deal with the situation quickly and assigns Mallory Book as her attorney for the case, since she can't represent herself. Nikki and Pug come up with a plan to acquire a superhero outfit for Walters from Luke Jacobson, who is like the highly exclusive
I hecka wanted
tailor.
Melvin to come back, man.
Right, Melvin from Daredevil. And it's interesting that Daredevil was linked in this as well.
Yes.
As a person who has been to a person who makes suits.
Yeah.
You know?
We definitely were expecting Melvin.
Right.
Until we got inside the, place.
Did Melvin die? No, Melvin didn't die, dude.
I don't think so.
I don't remember. I need to
hope
do it.
not. I
need
liked
to do a
him.
Daredevil rewatch. But yes, Melvin was a character in that show that made Daredevil's suit. So Luke Jacobson agrees to make Jennifer some suits after he learns about a little bit about who she is.
Well, we don't know that Melvin was making him the Daredevils, or that this guy was making him the Daredevil suits. Maybe he was just making his attorney suits. Okay.
Maybe, but we did see the Daredevil helmet in
That's
his
true.
in his office. And that was like the major tease for Daredevil.
You're right.
In this episode, but I don't think Daredevil actually shows up until episode 9 or something.
I won't even lie to you. almost peed my pants.
Yeah.
But let's wait until we can pee our pants in a minute.
We'll say it at the same time, trust me.
Yeah, just get a little bit of pee right here in this episode. Just
You know what? I think she was dating people before this episode because remember she was already supposed to be associated as She-Hulk before it was trademarked.
Right. Well, in
the case.
In the last episode, it said that she made a profile as Jennifer Walters, but wasn't getting much success. So I don't know if she ended up actually going on any dates, but she was definitely, trying to make matches and whatnot.
And then she started getting the creepos.
Exactly. So in this episode,
Beepo.
Walters is annoyed to discover that Todd Phelps, one of her unsuccessful dates, is also a client at her firm. But this helps her realize that she can use her dating app history to establish a past record of her identifying as She-Hulk before Titania tried to gain the trademark. Using her past dates' testimonies, Jennifer wins the case and establishes a tentative friendship with Mallory Book, and then Jennifer later acquires her new customized outfits from Jacobson. So yeah, this is where she goes on all the dates. She goes on.
Dude, and they're so bad.
Dates the only one that ends up working out for her is the one with the doctor, the very good-looking doctor.
The very good-looking doctor.
Yeah, until he saw her as Jennifer, he was
right,
like, ooh.
and then he really dropped quite a few points in the.
Yeah. He went from
Manosphere.
looking real cute to being like, okay,
Right.
all right, I guess.
This also doesn't make any sense. He's looking, he was with She-Hulk the night before, and then he wakes up and she's Jennifer Walters, and he's like, oh, and he like tries to sneak out of her apartment. And he's like, oh no, I don't like the real you at all.
Gosh, I just
Men.
cannot. I cannot.
Men suck.
He likes a big lady. Let's see here. In the next
Can
episode,
I say
go.
this? I
Of
haven't
course.
said it yet. That's one of the things too, is that I know it's her face on She-Hulk, but it almost is too different for me. Like
From her face to She-Hulk's face?
Yeah.
I think it's because of the hair.
The hair, maybe?
The hair definitely changed.
I think it's the hair.
If we had seen her maybe once or twice, like on a date or at the wedding with like She-Hulk hair, like say she had done her hair.
Like, she had like straightened her hair.
Yeah,
She got
and
done up to go to the wedding.
And it looked like that. I think it might have
that makes sense.
like bridged a gap for me.
That's interesting.
I agree with you.
I almost wonder if they kind of did that on purpose just to make the distinction that much more between
Maybe.
Jennifer and She-Hulk. And just keep the curly hair when you're this and the long straight hair when you're this. And we won't go in between at all. Never.
Never.
No perms for either of you.
No, we should never have perms on anybody. Nay, nay, nay.
Nay, nay. The next episode is called Just Jen, where Jennifer is invited to be a bridesmaid at her old friend Lulu's wedding, as we were just mentioning. So she gets to the wedding and she goes as She-Hulk, right? Because she's finally like embraced that She-Hulk is like good for her. And so she's like, you know what? I'm showing up as She-Hulk. I'm gonna see all my old friends and I'm gonna stun on them. And she
comes in looking hot as
right.
hot.
She's straight poured into this dress, I would say. Oh man, there's a lot of costumes in that box. Non sequitur, sorry. Let's see here. So all of her old friends, all these people that she knows from her old friend Lulu's wedding, they're all like, oh my God, Jennifer, wow, look at your butt, OMG.
You're really good at that.
I listen to that Big Butt song a lot.
Shut up.
So they're all very impressed with She-Hulk, but then the bride, Lulu, she comes in and turns into Bride Hulk, and she's like, I do not like this. I did not tell you to come as She-Hulk. You better tone it down, put those boobs away. I don't like any of it. And Jennifer, like, unfortunately agrees. She was like, all right, I guess I'll tone it down and just be normal Jennifer at this wedding, even though I was feeling good, looking good, Titania also makes an appearance at the wedding, obviously to spite Jennifer, but she plays it off like she's dating some dweeb in the background, I guess, which is funny. Let's see. Following a brief fight, Titania breaks down and storms off. Meanwhile, Mallory.
Oh yeah, they
Brooks-
actually fight.
Right, they actually throw hands at this wedding. Mallory Book and Nikki work on a divorce case for a superhuman called Mr. Immortal. I really like this storyline.
Hold on.
It was freaking hilarious.
That dude is.
Hold on, back up. At the wedding,
Yes.
there'd
She
be
met
a
a guy.
there'd be a pretty cute dude coming up trying to see what's up with a Jennifer.
What was his name? Josh?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Don't
Dude,
care.
what ticked me off about that particular scene? How they did her hecka dirty, had her walk down the aisle with a dog. If I were that friend, I legitimately would have been like, bleep your dog, I'm out.
Right. If
I
you
would've
were
left.
She-Hulk. Yeah. It's
No
insulting.
questions asked. Doesn't run it past me once.
Right.
Nah.
Walking
Done.
down an aisle
I
with
don't
an
think so.
ugly dog.
Yeah, that dog was ugly, man.
That poor dog. So yeah, she's basically not having a good time at this wedding, specifically because of Lulu, until Josh shows up and starts sweet talking her, and they start flirting hard, and it's cute, and they're hanging out and they're vibing, and we're like, all right, Jennifer's got a win here at least this is nice. Meanwhile, with Mallory Book and Mr. Immortal, this dude.
Hold on, which one is
This
Mr.
fool.
Immortal?
So Mr. Immortal.
Remind me.
That's the dude who cannot find the courage to separate from his spouses or girlfriends.
Any of his spouses, and he's immortal. So he has been living for, what did he say, like 700 years or something like
Pretty
that?
much kills himself, fakes his death, and then leaves.
He just fakes his death all the time. And literally, he's in the meeting with Mallory Book and Nikki, and he's explaining all of this to them, and they're like, this dude is an idiot. And they're saying all this out loud, and they're like, you can't be serious. You are so wrong. You need to apologize and be better to your women. And
They're like putting in the like consequence papers or whatever, like an apology.
Yeah.
Like, say you're sorry.
and he's literally like,
What was
bye.
it, like 2 minutes of eye contact or something?
Yeah.
But he's literally like, bye, and he jumps out a window and, pretends to off himself.
Again.
just
Again.
like, again. He does this a lot.
You can't just tell people that you do that and then try to do that. Like, wow.
Also, too, I think he said he was married to that one British queen whose husbands all died. Queen Elizabeth, I think.
Not Elizabeth, Victoria. Was it
Victoria.
Victoria?
I think yes.
One of them, dude.
It's not it.
It was freaking hilarious.
It was very funny. I
It
really
was
like
unreal.
the Mr. Immortal storyline.
So stupid though.
Very silly. So let's see here. Back at the wedding. After resolving the case, Mallory Book and Nikki discover several death threats directed at She-Hulk on Intelligentsia's message board, which is maintained by an individual known as Hulk King. Elsewhere, scientists working for Hulk King spy on Jennifer and plan another attempt to steal a blood sample from her. So I think this is where we see Josh and Jennifer go on like a couple dates. Is that this episode or is that after?
I think it's the next one.
You're right. It is after the next one. The next one, by the way, is called The Retreat.
Yes.
Where Jennifer does go out on several dates with Josh. So it's at the beginning of this episode. But he eventually disappears and starts ghosting her after they sleep together. So, which is just like dirty dog
Typical
move, man. Dirty dog move, because we see the whole montage of them having nice days,
And
they're
they
being
were
nice,
really
and they're
sweet
being
little
cute,
dates.
and they're flirting and whatnot. And Jennifer's smiling, and it's nice. And then this fool just disappears, and Jennifer keeps texting him or actually no, she's
She
contemplating
keeps opening
texting
her
him.
phone.
Yeah, she wants to see the text come in from Josh. Sorry or whatever, but it does not come.
It does not go.
So, while anticipating a text from him, she receives a call from Emil Blonsky's parole officer, who informs her that the inhibitor that stops him from turning into Abomination is broken, and he wants her to go to Blonsky's ritual retreat called Summer Twilight to check on him. When the parole officer leaves, Man Bull and El Aguila accidentally
Oh my gosh.
accidentally
Manbull.
destroy her car.
Mambo would be the perfect intro to Inhumans.
Yeah, I was thinking, I wasn't sure what they were doing with him, but in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, there was also that like green bull guy, and I was like, are these two dudes related? Are they from the same pocket dimension, or is this his son? What is going on here? But I think what this show is doing is letting the world, setting the stage that like mutants exist.
Yeah.
And they're just out there
I said that
and
too.
abundant. Right? There's just a whole bunch of people who got powers, and we don't really know why, but it's happening right now.
I think what was really interesting with this one too was that that the parole officer didn't want to go by himself.
Right, yeah.
He was like,
see Abomination.
you're going.
I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's very scary. So anyway, Man Bull and this Matador dude are are fighting, and the Matador dude keeps explaining that he's not a Matador. He is El Aguila, which is what is that? What does that mean? Is that the eagle or something like that? What was
Eagle.
it? It was an eagle.
Was it like a luchador?
Yeah, I guess so, but he really did not want to be associated with bulls or fighting bulls. And the fact that they are fighting each other, Man Bull and El Aguila, just like it was too sweet. Let's see here. Despite the retreat lacking internet and cell coverage, Jennifer continues to nervously await a response from her boyfriend. She attends a group therapy session with Emil Blonsky, Man Bull, El Aguila, Porcupine, Saracen, and Wrecker, where she recognizes from one of the dudes who beat her up in that alleyway, or tried to beat her up. Actually, she beat them up.
Yeah, she got real
She hulked
beady.
out and stomped on him. And this group therapy session of like C-level supervillains all convince her to delete his contact info from her phone and let go of her feelings towards him. And she does, and she feels much better. It is then revealed that 3 days later, Miller secretly cloned Jennifer's phone and stole a sample of her blood on behalf of Hulk King after sleeping with her.
Just
Awful.
so disgusting.
Absolutely terrible.
You can't steal people's blood.
I mean, there's a lot of things you're not supposed to be doing in this
You can't be
situation.
stealing all kinds
You can't
of
be stealing
stuff.
blood. You can't be stealing this footage that you set up a secret camera.
Oh,
Yeah, it was all kinds of nastiness.
Yeah, the theme of the show is men are nasty.
Right.
ay caramba.
Speaking of nasty men, the next episode is called Ribbit and Rip It.
Yeah. Trey, you remember that? Rip it in, rip it. Rip it in, rip it. He kept doing that with Trey like for at least a week.
So Jennifer takes on a new case representing Leapfrog, who wishes to sue Jacobson, the costume maker, for giving him a faulty supersuit. Jacobson is represented by the one and only Matt Murdock.
I literally squealed.
Cried.
It's awesome. He walks
Audrey
into
and
the
I were
courtroom.
both like, what?
He's here, and he's awesome. Like, it is perfect.
He is the best.
He comes in and starts lawyering hard. You know, he's like, wait a minute, you put jet fuel in the supersuit? Is it say in the manual to put in jet fuel? And they're like, no, I don't think it did. And like, that's right. You operator error or whatever.
Yeah. You got
User
super nose.
error. You
Exactly.
dip.
And I believe it also comes out in this particular court case that like they're asking for Jacobson's like records and stuff to be public so that they can review if he's, you know, if anybody else needs to be sued for faulty supersuits. And Matt Murdock argues very hard that like, well, he deals in privacy and his
Yeah.
clientele needs a certain
Confidentiality.
amount of confidentiality and he cannot legally be bound to let that information go. And it's like, okay, covering your own secret identity. I see
I
it,
know,
dog.
okay.
Let's go. Use
I'll
the
take
lawyer
it.
skills. I like it. So then Jennifer and Matt meet up at like a bar.
Because she thinks he's sexy. And he is sexy, okay?
And
Let's
they
be real.
start chatting it up. And the tension is thick.
I literally was like, this is what I needed. This is the couple I didn't know I needed, and now I ship.
There's a couple I didn't know I needed. Like, think
In a good way, though. Like,
it's awesome.
It makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, and the weirdest part is I don't know if they ever dated in the comics.
No?
And you know, comics are crazy. They're like soap operas. Everybody dates everybody. Like Spider-Man, I think has dated Captain Marvel before. You know,
Alright.
there's a whole bunch of nonsense happening there. But I don't think Jennifer and Matt had ever dated, which is crazy because they're both superheroes and lawyers at the same exact time.
I won't even lie to you. I know that this isn't like, it's like outside Netflix Daredevil.
Right.
But I hate Elektra Nachos so much.
Elektra, who in the 2003 Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck is played by Jennifer Gardner, and that's where their little love affair started. Just a little fun fact. But in the Netflix show, she's like the assassin for the Hand, and she and Matt end up kind of, falling in love, and they fight, and they went to college together.
Yeah,
and stuff
they knew each other
and
early
then
on.
they have to
but
fight as Elektra and Daredevil, over some hand ninja stuff.
I just don't like her.
Right.
And I don't know if it's that I didn't like the actress for it or what, but in my mind, they have no reason to be together because
Right.
they're so incompatible.
You didn't like her as a love interest.
No. Yeah, fight all you want, but they just were incompatible. Incompatible? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
But like Jennifer and him.
Jennifer and Matt.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
I don't know
and
who chose
yes
that,
again.
but I'm gonna say yes, yes, and
It's
yes.
really great. I really enjoy their relationship as it builds, especially in this episode.
And then they bang.
So they flirt a little bit right here in the bar. Then we take it to the streets where Jennifer has to go save Leapfrog from
Ribbon.
from Daredevil, who has tracked him down and is chasing him. Right. So Daredevil and She-Hulk meet in this moment.
It's a team up.
Outside of Jennifer and Matt, and then yes, they team it on up and take out a warehouse. There's a classic Daredevil hallway fight.
Yes.
That is interrupted by She-Hulk because she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, I like to take my time."
That was fantastic. He's sitting there doing his Daredevil thing where he's like, "There's 6 people inside the building,
Right.
and there's one walking here," and she's like, She goes in.
She's like, I'm just gonna smash stuff.
How about I just break these dudes' backs?
So good. And I love that she gives 0. She's like, I'm coming in hard. You're a bad guy. You deserve it. Bye.
Matt's coming in and he's explaining how he's superheroes to her. He's like, yeah, I go in quiet and I go in smooth and I beat people up and I wear the mask and I can see, I have radar vision and whatever. And she's like, okay, well, that's not me. I'm keeping my face out here and I'm just gonna punch a couple people and be done with it. Move
She's
on.
like, I smash things.
So
I Hulk smash.
Right.
So there's that.
So let's see here. Matt reveals to Jennifer that Leapfrog actually kidnapped Jacobson, and the two work together to rescue Jacobson before they do sleep together. Bang, as you put it.
Stop.
The next day, Jennifer attends the Southern California Law Awards Gala, where she accepts a Female Lawyer of the Year award. And in the episode, Jennifer's like, wait, this episode's not over? We're doing the gala? Isn't that supposed to be like the big finale or whatever? I can't believe that's happening now. And they make their way over there, and it turns out that the Female Lawyer of the Year award isn't quite as special as she thought it was going to be. It turns out like 9 of them ladies all get Female of the Year awards, and they're
It's like every female lawyer.
like, what's it like to be a female lawyer? And the first lady's like,
as a male lawyer.
the first lady's like, it's so empowering, and the second lady was like, it's the same as being a male lawyer. And then Jennifer goes up and she's like, I just want to thank everybody and thank my colleagues and whatnot. Oh, he is out.
There's a sleepy baby.
As Jennifer is giving her acceptance speech for her portion of the 1/9 of an award, the screen is interrupted by hackers. Okay, they hack in and start saying that this is intelligentsia. She-Hulk is a phony. She's a fake. She sucks. She's awful. Here's the proof. She's an S word. I'll beat myself. She's a slut. And
I like how that has anything to do, you know?
anything to do with anything she's about. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make
so
any sense.
because slut shaming is where it's
Hey,
at.
slut shaming
Excuse
is the
me.
new witch shaming.
I know.
I mean, yeah. It was also the old witch shaming. They used to shame them too.
But Scarlet Witch can be a regular witch, and we're not going to
Yes,
say anything.
exactly.
So
So they play the sex tape that Josh secretly recorded from their night together at this
disgusting.
place.
Fudged up.
She-Hulk absolutely rages out, right?
Yeah, I would too.
She breaks the screen. Everybody starts running. She goes outside. Damage control has arrived. They're trying to pop off and shoot guns, pop, pop, and whatnot. And,
shoot guns.
Is this the same damage control from Miss Marvel?
Yes, same damage control from Miss Marvel and same damage control from Spider-Man No Way Home. They also arrest him and try to get him in trouble. And that's when Matt Murdock comes to defend Peter Parker. Then that episode ends. The last episode, episode 9, is Whose Show Is This? Where Jennifer is released from damage control custody, but is forced to wear an inhibitor to prevent her from transforming. She loses her job at GLK&H because if she can't be She-Hulk, then she can't be a lawyer there, and she attacked people on company property or whatever. Nikki and Pug infiltrate an intelligentsia event where they learn that Todd Phelps, this is one of her terrible dates, who presented he said that he bought a Wakandan spear and he was like, Wakanda forever, in the middle of a building, a restaurant. It was awful.
Yeah, and everyone gagged.
Yeah, it was like, but it is revealed that this idiot is the Hulk King, and Emil Blonsky, as the Abomination, is serving as a motivational speaker at a retreat where Todd Phelps is at. Jennifer arrives at the event and confronts Todd Phelps, who injects himself with her blood and transforms into a Hulk. After Titania and Bruce Banner unexpectedly appear at the ensuing fight, a confused Jennifer destroys her inhibitor and breaks the fourth wall to confront the show's writers in Marvel Studios Assembled. So she literally busts out of her show.
She was like, we are not doing this.
Busts out of your Fire TV or your Apple TV or whatever you got.
Because Hulk just came down from space to help her fight. I was like, what the...
Right.
It was very confusing.
Hulk came down from space. The bad guy turned into a Hulk. The Abomination was there. And she was
the whole time you loved it, or excuse me, loved him.
Right.
And you're like, okay, now he's a bad guy again?
So Jennifer and you as the audience is going like, wait a second, none of this makes any sense. Like, this is like a terrible plot. This is how they're ending the show. And so she says that, and then leaps out of the show to go confront the writers.
It was like the freaking Disney Plus screen. I was like,
yes.
what?
it was
unreal.
She goes into the writer's room and she talks to Jessica Gao, who's the head showrunner for the show, and she's like, well, I didn't make all these decisions. Actually, that was Kevin. You got to go talk to Kevin. And so she goes into this like secret room.
Well, and hold on. I just have to say, Luis was so mad.
Why?
Mad. I'm over here like, this is so cool. And he's like, I hate this so much.
That is so stupid. Why would you do that? It makes no freaking sense.
Which part? Have her jump out of the show?
Yes. No, I'm all cool with breaking the fourth wall. But at this point, you're telling me that none of that is real. Because that does not happen. So stupid.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was fantastic.
I thought it was funny as well. I think that it's interesting, Deadpool and She-Hulk are like the two characters in Marvel who do break the fourth wall.
Right.
In the comics and in the cartoons and stuff like that. They talk.
And I'm not opposed to that, but that was just.
I'm sorry.
I'm using a very bad word. Believe me, but
that
no,
word.
dude, that was so stupid.
So yeah, and in the comics they do both break the fourth wall frequently, and so I think, in terms of the show stamping its own identity and saying like, we're not like the other shows, we don't just break the fourth wall, we smash it and hop out of it and
just
we
like Matt
come over
Murdock.
here. I
Literally does
I
that.
enjoyed watching that. It was very funny to me.
I think what I liked about it was that at least from a show perspective, it was funny. I think it's more funny to us because we know who Kevin is.
That's true.
Like if you weren't like hot into MCU, you'd be like, who's Kevin? This is stupid.
That's true.
Or even like on the flip side of it, if you're like, I don't know, like if you're like 10 and you don't care about Kevin Feige, you just care about Iron Man and Black Panther and Black Widow and Thor and She-Hulk and Hulk, all messing stuff up. I could see how this wouldn't be a part of the show for you. But also, this show isn't necessarily for you.
But yeah, it was fantastic. And I think that they didn't overdo it. That's a personal thought, but it'll be interesting moving forward because I don't love Deadpool and I think that they do overdo it in his.
Okay.
And I don't like the idea of her doing it in classic MCU.
Right.
I'm
like
not happy
movie.
with that. No.
Yeah, I don't think that they would do that. Like, I think they would keep her fourth wall breaking to her own thing.
Right.
Just like if they happen to bring Deadpool into an MCU movie, I don't think he'll be breaking the fourth wall like he does in his movie.
Yeah.
Not at least not anywhere near as much.
Like if he does it to himself, that's one thing, but I don't like the idea of him talking to the viewer.
Right. Or like pausing and moving out of frame or doing anything like that. I don't think that'll happen in something that's outside of his own universe thing. And same with She-Hulk. I think
like if she talked to herself in the mirror, like, girl, you need to get it together or something like that, then it'd be like, okay.
Exactly.
But I want you talking to me.
Yeah. So I think if they keep it contained to this, then it is pretty perfect. So anyway, she meets Kevin, and Kevin isn't the exact Kevin Feige that I imagine him to be, but it's pretty close. He's a robot with a little hat.
That was ridiculous. Do you think he wears a hat like that?
He wears a hat
like that.
Day. I mean. Basically.
I've never seen Kevin Feige without a hat.
Correct.
Okay,
he always has a baseball cap on.
All right.
And he's got the coolest Marvel hats in human history. Every time he comes out and announces all the new movies that are coming out, he's got like the hat of the newest, hottest thing that's gonna come. Like there was like a Blade hat, there was a Black Widow hat. You know, he got all the hats.
That's awesome.
So Kevin is an artificial intelligence that claims to be in charge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's storyline decisions and persuades it to rewrite the finale, to which it reluctantly agrees. Like, Jennifer really has to lawyer up here and convince him that this is the right decision to make and that his, hulky decisions are wrong. Returning to her own show, she finds that Todd Phelps and Emil Blonsky have been arrested. While celebrating with her family and Matt Murdock, Bruce Banner returns from Sakaar with his son, Scar. After regaining her job and being cleared of all charges, Jennifer vows to continue her work as a lawyer and a superhero. And in a mid-credit scene, Wong breaks Emil Blonsky out of prison and takes him to Camartage. Come on, bro, let's go watch The Sopranos with Madison. And that's the end of the show. So that last part with Hulk and his newfound son, this is something that I anticipated, but it was like a comic book nerd anticipation kind of thing. Because Hulk in the comics, there's an event that's called World War Hulk, where Hulk goes kind of crazy, and Tony Stark and Captain America have to send him to space. And when he goes to space, he lands on the planet Sakaar. He armors up, and he becomes like the king warrior of the planet. And he has a family, and then, returns to Earth and turns back into Bruce Banner. And it's like, whoa, that was weird. And then his family shows up on Earth. So this is a slightly tamer and much more civilized version of that, where Smart Hulk went back to Sakaar, and apparently he had a lady love over there, and she birthed the Hulk, which is, she must have been a big lady. So Scar in the comics.
But here's my question,
yes.
And you tell me what you think. Mm-hmm. So there was all kinds of timey-wimey on Sakaar. So do you think that was pre this? Like he's a kid who's been growing up since Thor Ragnarok? Or do you think he just went there timey-wimey and then came back with a child?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? Because since Ragnarok, there's been Infinity War and Endgame, which is like a year later, and then the 5 years later, right? And then a few years after that to get to She-Hulk. So it's like 2025 in the MCU right now or whatever. So in between that time, the kid could have grown like 5 or 6 or 7 years or whatever.
Because he looked like...
He looked like a teenager at the very least. But also I think there's some space timey-wimey things going on, where when Loki showed up in Ragnarok on Sakaar, Thor didn't show up until like 2 weeks later or something like that, right? Yeah. And that was from Asgard to Sakaar. So from Sakaar to Earth, there might be some time dilation, what happened in Buzz Lightyear.
Sure.
And Interstellar. So yeah, I think there's some timey-wimey stuff going on. And Hulk had been on Sakaar for like 2 years?
2 years, I think.
2 years. So add on, so it had been like a 9-year difference between him getting there and this kid showing up.
So he very well could be. Well, and do you think maybe that's why he went back? Because it never told us why he went back to Sakaar in the first place at the beginning of the season.
Right. At the beginning of the season, they get attacked by a Sakaar ship.
He had a child support court date.
Bruce Banner, you've been served. We're putting a
DCSS is coming for you.
We're putting a garnishment on your wages, bro. All right, it's happening.
No more science funding for you.
It's spousal support and child support. Get ready. So if I remember correctly, I think in the comics he had, wedded like a warrior queen there, and then
As he should.
as he should, and then in the time when like Bruce Banner went back to Earth and Sakaar came to Earth, I think the warrior queen had died. So the mom, I think, is out of the picture. So in this show, it might be that like whoever that Sakaran ship came was somebody trying to get revenge on Hulk for leaving or something like that, and he had to go back and get his boy, his love child.
So all I have to say is that my heart swelled and burst with her going back to her family, and her family is hilarious.
Her family is so funny. She got the cousin that was a DJ. He popped up a couple times. Her dad is just a
good.
freaking hoot. When she told him that she got attacked in an alleyway and then hulked out and beat up the dudes, he's like, "Well, you got to get more security around. We got to beef up your place. I'm bringing some security cameras over."
Because the security cameras are gonna do it.
I'm invincible.
Oh God, so funny. But when they go back and have this family picnic, and you see Matt Murdock you see Matt Murdock
Right.
getting to be like a normal person outside of a lawyer is just on a level.
Casual Matt, they call him.
It's a level.
It's cool. And once again, them like staying together as a couple is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I
So then
ship
it makes you wonder, is she going to be in the Daredevil show?
Right, that's the thing. Well, Daredevil, I mean, I don't know if you watched the 3 seasons of his show, but he gets around. He's got quite a few ladies
It's true.
in his life.
I don't like it.
The man cannot be tied down. And in fact, I don't think
I don't
Daredevil-
appreciate that with Jennifer. Okay? Elektra, I don't care.
Right.
Okay.
Karen, goodbye.
Karen's got other priorities with the mean killer man, okay?
Right. Sure.
Scowy.
So yeah, I think Daredevil is set to come back in the Echo show and then in his own show.
Yeah.
So yeah, Echo. We got to watch Echo just to see where Matt ends up next. But Echo is also in the comics a love interest for Matt Murdock. So the man.
I wasn't fond of her.
Right.
I didn't.
Pointless.
Nor was. I mean, I was okay in some points, but I don't think it was enough for a whole show. Anyway, go listen to our Hawkeye episode for more of those opinions.
We don't want to. Don't go back. I mean, you can listen to the episode, but
But don't go back.
No, don't go
Hawkeye.
back.
So yeah, that was.
Plus, that's a bad episode for us. That was our first episode of this year, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was way back, right? Because it was like a Christmassy show, and we must have done it in like.
It was Die Hard, or what's the one that's Christmas that's not Christmas?
Yeah, Die Hard.
There you go.
Batman Returns. All the classics.
Stupid.
Iron Man 3. So yeah, that's the end of She-Hulk, right? I loved it. We all ended up liking it a fair amount. On Rotten Tomatoes, this show has one of the craziest splits between audience and critics I've ever seen. On the tomato meter, the critics, it's an 85%. Certified fresh. This is the hotness. The audience score is 33%.
33?
33%. So
That is rotten as rotten.
right. The critics' consensus.
That's Batman v Superman.
I know, it's terrible. The critics' consensus says whether she's fighting bad guys, defending a client, or managing her messy social life, She-Hulk Attorney at Law passes the bar for binge-worthy viewing.
I can agree with that.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly.
Absolutely. You guys binged it?
We did binge it. 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been nice. We watched it week to week, and it was quite enjoyable, waiting to see what would happen come next week, Will they bang again? We want to know. So I think what is happening is that this show is being review bombed, because on IMDb it also has a 5 out of 10.
Like purposefully, for what purpose?
Well, I think that the show was so heavily parodying the men of the internet who like to complain about things.
Yeah.
That the men of the internet who like to complain about things are complaining about this show.
What are they called again? Incels?
They're trolls, they're incels, all of it, The intelligentsia, as it were, of real life.
You know what?
The Reddit bros, the 4chaners, they're
The
out
Reddit
there.
bros.
And they have access to Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb as well.
And they're probably the only ones out there rating these in the first place.
Right.
Because no offense, I've never thought enough about a movie, regardless if I love it or not. I'm not going in.
I hardly
and
rate it
rating.
even in this podcast. It makes you think I'm going to spend the extra time and rate it online.
Seriously?
To write it out.
No.
Yeah. And I don't take offense to that as a person who has written reviews for movies.
You creep.
But not like this.
You're a full creep.
So
on me.
I just pulled up the IMDb reviews, and these first few are already like, this thing is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. So this is a 4 out of 10. I haven't read this beforehand, so excuse me if I hit some bad language or whatever. This is a 4 out of 10 from
I can't wait.
Wrights Shergel, and it says, and this is the end of the road for Marvel. This is truly bottom of the barrel stuff. Nobody asked for this show, but it was shoved up on us hapless souls anyway.
Hapless souls?
Walters came across as obnoxious, vacuous,
Yeah, vacuous.
and full of herself. There was no effort made at all towards character development in the first episode, which looks like a poorly crafted music video from the 90s. The first episode obviously
Excuse you,
serves...
I'm going to need you to back up on music videos from the 90s.
Poorly crafted. The first episode obviously
Are
serves...
you Gen Z?
Gen Z, maybe. The first episode obviously serves as a placeholder for more schlock. The show is trying to be Sex in the City with a PG-13 rating and female Shrek. Oh, sick burn, dude.
Because she's green.
Because she's green, yeah. Marvel's idea of setting up strong female characters with exposition dumps instead of focusing on having them go through a journey to realize their true potential. Mediocre shows like Ms. Marvel and now She-Hulk, which should in fact be called The Abomination or She-Shrek Attorney at Yawn, should
Hold
just
on, I'm
not
gonna need
be
to
allowed
back
to see
up.
daylight.
Ms. Marvel was good.
Ms. Marvel was good.
I need to throw that in there. I thought Ms. Marvel was
I
very
liked it
good.
a lot. This person, not this guy.
And you know it's a guy.
It's definitely a guy.
He hates women.
The only shows he mentioned were Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. He hates women. At the end of the first episode, I could feel the bile at the back of my throat and a haunting realization that Marvel has officially run out of ideas. So it's basically running on fumes now. The way she gains her powers is a joke, and the way she overcomes the cons of being a Hulk is so laughable and indigestible that I have been having digestion pills since I saw the episode today.
Well, I'm glad it's only been a short time for you, sir.
So he obviously wrote this review, this scathing review, after just one episode. But I assume that that's kind of the tone of all of these.
No, we need another. Please give me.
Let's see here. Oh, this one has a whole bunch of bullet points. All right. This one is on IMDb rated 4 out of 10. But in the title, he put 3.9 out of 10. She-Hulk for babies. All right? Warning, spoilers. I knew it couldn't be good. I saw the impressions and ratings. I read all the available reviews. I felt it in my blood to be a deception. But I was half wrong with the balance plate heading and converging toward a shaky 4. Oh my God, okay. I don't. These are all bullet points. It is good for kids knowing nothing about the Marvel She-Hulk comics, magazines, and stories. Bullet point. It is funny and unrealistic in a cringy way. Bullet point. It is horrible and terrible at the same time and taking us non-kids mortals for clowns in a big circus. Bullet point. The VFX CGI section is good in a kindergarten way good. Bullet point. The Yo-Yo screenplay storyline is all messy, false, and a big lie to our faces. Bullet point. The origin of She-Hulk and how she gained her powers is a total disgrace and disaster. Bullet point. The development and semi-mastering of her powers like cans of tuna fishes. Bullet point.
Excuse me?
I don't know what that sentence means, and I don't think we have enough time for me to figure it out. The bullet point.
I'm done.
Her transformations and unrealistic state of her clothes after that are like as if your hairs are caught on fire every time. What is this? What is he talking? What is happening?
What do these things mean?
What? Bullet point. This is the last bullet point. The disgusting runtime of 35 minutes is basically 5 minutes less, as if that runtime was a big 75 minutes, as seen and masterminded, probably by Jessica Gao.
What? Did you read that correctly?
I believe I did. I'm going to read it again. The disgusting runtime of 35 minutes is basically 5 minutes less, as if that runtime was a big 75 minutes, as seen and masterminded, probably by Jessica Gao! Exclamation point.
Dude doesn't know math.
Dude doesn't know English. Holy moly. He goes on to say, and these aren't bullet points, the huge acting talents of Tatiana Maslany are wasted in this production. I can already tell. And Mark Ruffalo's presence and cameo in this episode would be the last, hopefully. Jessica Gao, focus on Jennifer Walters and her own story. 8 more episodes are left to remedy your utter failure. Though I know that they are already finished and what is done is done.
I'm glad you know how TV works, sir.
Holy moly. That one was rough.
That is hilarious. So that was
hard.
all based off of episode 1.
Of the first episode.
Like, he has a lot to say
He had a
about
lot to say.
35
minutes,
you know
which is
what?
5 minutes less than a big 75 minutes that Jessica Gao masterminded the provision of it. You know what I mean? Let me go by review date and see if I can find a little bit of a fresher
That's
one.
probably one of the best reviews.
Oh, that's way too
I wish
long.
you could like message the people who posted these.
And be like, bro, are you okay? Are you
How
all
mad
right?
do you have to be to write a review like that?
All right, let me read one more, okay? 'Cause this one is from just a few days ago, so I think it might have more of the whole show. It's a 1 out of 10. The title says, ding, 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 we have a winner. This is by far the worst show of 2022. So very poorly written, driven by angry female writers and directors. Every single episode just sinks lower and lower. Repetitive displays of white men acting like idiots and violating women. Every third sentence is from a woman preaching the evils of men, especially white men, crying and screaming about the emotional damage they all suffered. It just goes on and on and on. And
Written by a white man
Yeah,
who is definitely.
Oh, by the way, this is written by Richard Alcroft, 10222.
10-2-2-2.
Let's see here. And the so-called fourth wall they claim to be breaking, LOL, excuse me, ... LOL. Sorry, but you are decades late to that race. Wayne's World did it in the 90s. And as usual, Disney forced the inclusion on us. Blatantly obvious scenes that just made me cringe while suffering the horrific dialogue. How this series rates as high as it does is beyond me. It's just the cherry on top of Marvel's decline. This is an upset white man.
Oh my gosh. I really love it when people say that we're forcing women things on you. Well,
How dare
know
you
what?
force
I'm sorry that you've been forcing
over
your
half of the population's opinions on me. How dare you?
well, and you've been forcing your white men thing on us forever.
Forever.
So
That's classic. So I think those are the kinds of reviews that are being written about this show that I'm not really taking to heart as the true opinions of people who actually watch
as not a white man.
Right. Well, yeah. But I mean, all of these ones that I just read, they were all so butthurt about what had
Feminism.
happened. Yeah, about feminism. Exactly. I'm like, ugh.
Do you have a mom and a sister, bro?
Have you ever talked to a woman before in your life?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Don't think so at all.
Oh
So,
my god, I'm
aside
sorry.
from-
That was honestly the best reviews that you've got to
Yeah,
read.
those are
Did you
pretty
say
good.
it was a 33%?
33% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said, I think it got review bombed basically by all these dude bros.
All by
who
these
are
incels.
who are all mad and upset about She-Hulk.
Dude bros.
Dude bros, you know. Hey bro, where the dudes? Hey dudes, where the bros? I'm a dude bro. So
Listeners, please, if you feel this way, just don't comment on this. 'Cause
maybe unfollow us. I don't wanna talk to
unfollow
you.
because this is an unacceptable. If you wrote that,
Well, yeah, I definitely don't want you listening if you wrote that. But you probably aren't anyway. I think we're. I don't know. I don't know what you think we are.
we have half women here, so we should have a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes at
At the
least.
very least. There are 600 critics reviews and there are 18,493 user ratings. Yeah, that's a lot.
And that's 33%.
That's with the 33%.
Good God.
18,000. Yeah, so
Over half of them absolutely hated this.
or so they say. Let's give our ratings of the She-Hulk. Luis, why don't you start?
I'll give it overall. I think it was like a good 7 to me. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 7.
Sim?
Yep.
Emily?
I'm going to give it an 8. I'm like actually want to give it like an 8.5, but I don't know if I'm going to give it an 8.4.
8.4?
Or 8.25. I don't know.
Okay.
I really liked it. And honestly, thinking back on it, I think I appreciate it more like outside of the episode.
Sure.
Because it has, I mean, I think good things, themes.
Right.
It resonates well. It's very, it's timeless, even though right now it's very culturally appropriate for
it's
where
very
we're at.
Of the time. With Megan Thee Stallion and the Reddit threads and whatnot.
Well, that, but also like what's happening socially right now.
Right.
But at the same time, it's timeless because it's not like these are new problems.
Correct.
They're
just the most updated versions of those problems.
I mean, ghosting has probably happened forever.
Right.
It's just we're calling it ghosting.
He hasn't written me a letter in 4 fortnights.
I was going to say fortnight. Hi.
Michelle, would you like to wake up and give a rating? Oh, no, okay. Sure.
If you guys would like to know, there are
we say 9? Michelle's gave a 9.
There are 2 sleeping Mortons right now.
That's true. One is in my arms. The other one is next to my arm. Michelle gave it a 9 out of 10.
And she swatted him away, which was really fun.
And I was swatted away afterwards. I am going to give this. I think I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. This one is really high up on my list of MCU shows. And honestly, I've been fairly busy this week as we lead into Thanksgiving. So I haven't had time, but I really wanted to watch it again before we recorded this podcast. And I'm about to go on vacation, and I think I might just download all the episodes onto my iPad and have myself a watch party.
Just so everybody knows, they're going to Hawaii, and he's gonna download and watch She-Hulk in Hawaii.
Yeah, on the beach, feeling the sun, having some fun.
Watching She-Hulk.
Watching She-Hulk. Let's go.
Good God.
This is how I vacay.
Okay, now you have to remind me, because I could be uber wrong here. But in what movie, was it at the end of Spider-Man, the last one?
No Way Home.
No Way Home? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Where Venom was like at a bar in Mexico or something?
Yes, correct.
I always think that they're going to this, he wasn't at Hulk's little...
No, he wasn't at the Hulk's little bar nook or whatever. He has a little cabana that he's got out there. I don't think so.
He was like at a bar.
But it is very interesting that 2 MCU projects in that close proximity had bars in Mexico where, the superpowered characters are hanging out.
Like he could just bar hop right on over to Hulk's.
Yes, exactly. But at the same time, I think, Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man movies are always a weird mixed bag with how tied in they are to the rest of the MCU. Because I'm almost certain that like that Venom scene is like all Sony.
Sure.
Sony is the one who put that in. They're the ones who had him pop out of his movie into Spider-Man No Way Home and then right back out.
Yeah.
That was their way of making themselves and the symbiote a part of the MCU.
Sure, because he's
right.
Because he's not going to be in any other thing.
So I don't
Even
know,
though, can you imagine?
Right.
Can you imagine?
Venom hanging out with the Guardians or whatever.
Oh my God, Venom next to freaking Nebula or something.
Oh my God, yeah, that'd be crazy.
That would be fantastic.
Your head doesn't look tasty. It's made of metal. So I don't know how much those two are connected, even though Venom and Hulk technically might have been in Mexico at the same time.
Okay.
I don't think that anything is probably going to come of that, unfortunately. But it would have made a cool connection, I guess.
I was trying to connect things.
Right.
Don't need to be connected.
Right. So yes, that's it for She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Let us know what you thought of the show. Are you a raging incel who has harsh words to say? Put it in the comments down below at the Walt Pod. At the Walt Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Are you a raging incel?
Let us know what you thought of She-Hulk.
Do you think they call themselves incels?
I think they do, because it's putting themselves as like the victims.
Oh.
Like, I'm involuntarily celibate. No one will come to my aid. and I must suffer for it. You know, if I could, I would not be celibate, but I simply cannot. I simply cannot, and it's because of those evil women. They're evil.
So they're pretty much priests.
Yeah, very similar to priests.
So
funnily enough,
and it's women's fault versus God's fault.
right?
right.
Yes, exactly.
I'm done.
Put it in the comments. Send a message to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. We'll read your message on the show.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we probably won't read none of those. You can keep up with us. Next episode, at the end of next month, it'll be the holiday season, and in stepping in tune with that, we are going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special, available on Disney Plus. I think it might have come up like just now, or maybe tomorrow, or something like that. I think it's coming out like this weekend tomorrow. Or something, the weekend of Thanksgiving. So check that out, and we will have it to you before the 25th of December, before Christmas. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word Christmas, but it did not come to me. Check that out.
The 25th of December.
Yes, and let us know what you think of the Guardians Holiday Special after you watch it as well. That has been it for us. We will see you next time for some Guardians goodness, The Vault.